Let's get on to our first story, and this is a very interesting story because it is on a brand new phone from Xiaomi. Now, like we say in our review, and something very interesting about Xiaomi is that it's a very, very aggressive player in the under 20,000 bracket. It literally has a phone in every single category. But the important thing that we have to find out now is that with a brand new phone that they've come out, first and foremost, the big question that we had in our mind was, why does this phone even exist? Because they already have a Xiaomi Redmi Note 9 Pro. Now to take out a Max version, predominantly the big difference is a little bit in the battery, a little bit in the optics. So should it even exist? There are lots more competition out there around this price point. Is it better than the competition? Is it better to buy this phone than just buy the Pro version of this? Lots of questions, and of course we have all the answers.
Xiaomi has a very interesting strategy when it comes to budget and economy phones. They have at least 1 to 2 offerings at literally every price point. Thus, when they announced a more well-specced version of their Redmi Note 9 Pro, no one was really surprised. They called it the Note 9 Pro Max. Just how pro-ish and max-ish is this phone is our quest for today. The Note 9 Pro Max does raise quite a few very important questions. Is it way better than its previous generation, the Note 8 Pro? Is it worth the 3,000 rupees or more than the Note 9 Pro? And is it better than the other two biggies in this category and price point, the Realme 6 Pro and the Poco X2? It's a nice looking phone for sure. Glass back finish, side-facing fingerprint sensor, and a massive 6.67-inch screen with a punch-hole camera in the middle of the screen. It comes in 3 colors. It's also a fingerprint magnet and was impossible not to smudge even if we handled it very carefully. Thankfully, it comes with a cover inside the box. Unfortunately, in terms of its form factor, it's a very poorly balanced phone. Big, unwieldy and heavy. 209 grams and thick. Not a good hand feel at all. On the brighter side, it does have a 3.5mm headphone jack, something of a rarity nowadays. The 6.67-inch display has a typical 2400 by 1080p resolution for this price category. But once again, it misses out on the refresh rate as it's a very middling 60Hz refresh rate. Lower than the 90Hz refresh rate you get on phones like the Realme 6 Pro. Surprising omission from Xiaomi here. The 9 Pro Max runs on the Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G octa-core processor, which is a great chipset for performance, gaming as well as running cool. Everyday performance is fast, apps load quick and multitasking is a breeze. Gaming was pretty good too, and you can piston out PUBG at a fairly good graphics setting. Now let's get into the optics, which is where the Pro Max version differentiates itself from its sibling. It has a 64-megapixel main lens as part of a quad camera assembly. The others are a 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera, 5-megapixel macro camera, and a 2-megapixel depth camera. The setup juts out from the back and won't let the phone lie flat when it's put on its back. Nothing outstanding was achieved in our photo test though. Outdoor and daylight photography was bright with a lot of detail, but the minute we moved to lower light situations or indoor, the results were washed out and very grainy. Nothing Pro Max-ish about the camera results in this one. Selfies from the 32-megapixel front camera were nice and sharp, but once again lost their magic when not fed the right amount of light. There is a Pro Color mode that bumps up the contrast in photos and works well if you like saturated photos. There are some video tricks like short clips with a kaleidoscope effect, plus you can shoot slow motion at up to 960 frames per second. Things start to look a bit better when you realize that packed inside this very big and heavy phone is a massive 5020 mAh battery, and it has a 33-watt fast charger that comes in the box. Kudos to Xiaomi for doing that. The Xiaomi phone obviously comes with the MIUI interface, and while things have changed, it is more polished. It also carries all the other problems that this UI has. As always, there's way too much pre-installed bloatware, and some of them are seriously spam-filled apps. After spending 17,000 rupees, you don't want to be bombed by unwanted ads, but between notification and Xiaomi's wallpaper carousel, you're going to get a heavy load of them. Not a great feeling ever. The variants available are 6GB RAM and 64GB storage for 16,499 rupees, 6GB RAM and 128GB storage for 17,999 rupees, and 8GB RAM 128GB storage for 19,999 rupees. The final verdict. The Redmi Note 9 Pro Max misses the bus, and by quite a wide margin. It just doesn't have anything super special to justify its price point or existence. There are better phones from Realme and Poco at these price points, and Xiaomi's own Note 9 Pro is a better buy at a lower price.